This is the design guide for the quotes corner peel template. This is applicable for both the 800 by 600 as well as the 650 by 650 version of the quotes ad. We'll start by doing a quick preview. Again, this is a corner peel template that operates with both a teaser and an expanded state. Here's the teaser, here's expanded. So starting out in the builder, you'll notice this ad has a number of different text elements to it. This can have up to 5 sections, which are configurable down in the settings tab. If you scroll down here, this will ask you how many sections do you want in rotation. You can have up to 5, as little as 1, obviously. So that's set down here, and basically that will reference any information you've put in here into the text area. So starting out again, this ad is relatively configurable. What you'll find with this template, a little bit of a nuance, is you may have to use some spaces within the text itself. Notice we put a couple spaces in here, a lot of them here in the second caption, because when you preview it, the text is set to be aligned left. And if you put an image over here, that works great, but if the text is basically for section number 2 aligned right about here, section 3 aligned here, so you may need to do some spacing if you're putting an image over here, especially one that goes over the top of the bleed, just to configure. So the template's set up to do that. You shouldn't have any problem. Just put in spaces, and every time you want to test, just hit preview to see if they're in the correct space. So we'll just show you how that works. If we didn't have any spaces here, and we preview, you're going to notice that text will run on top of the image. So that should make sense. So the same thing, all the sections are set up the same with 3 elements of primary, a headline, and a secondary. Again, you don't have to use any of them. If you leave them completely blank, there would be no text that shows up, and you could just have a big area for an image, which we recommend in cases where advertisers need specific fonts and things along with the message. You would just put an image in here that potentially takes up the whole side with whatever text built into the image itself. Moving on to media. Again, the teaser for this, the teaser area is a 170 by 170 pixel area square, but you're probably going to want to set that up to be diagonal in some way, shape, or form, because when we preview that, the teaser shows up in the corner, and if you make it, sorry, let's close it. If you make it, I have it set to expand on rollover. So let's try that here. So the teaser, if you make the area diagonal as opposed to vertical, it'll give you a little bit more area to play with, because all that's going to show up is what's above the fold there. The header image can go all the way across the top up to 660 pixels. Background images, again, 577 by 460. You can put a big area. I uploaded an image here. You can see with a tan background. Again, you can play with that, and they're pretty configurable. And then all the section images are the same size, 577 by 460. Colors, you can configure the background colors for the page peel, the page curl. So I'll show you that real quick. That sets, obviously, the color here. And then I uploaded an image that had a tan background, so you can still see a little corner of the red there, but again, that will overlay on top of whatever color the peel is naturally, but you see it here in the transition briefly. The button, there's a button in the upper right hand corner. You can configure the face colors. You can also configure whether that shows up at all in the first place within the settings. And then here's all of your text. Do you want specific colors for your text? That's all configurable. Click-through URLs, one for the whole ad and one for the button. And then finally, in our settings, you can configure just about everything in here. The speed at which the actual ad collapses when it's closed, the speed at which it expands when it's opened. Do you want it to automatically expand on initial render, meaning when the user first comes to the page, do they have to click the open button or roll over it? Or do you want it to automatically open up? We have it automatically opening. That's why it kept popping when I was trying to show you the teaser sample. So if we set that to no, it won't automatically open for us. And if you did set that to yes, do you want to limit how often that happens by dropping a cookie? In this instance, every 24 hours, when someone views the ad, it drops a cookie. It'll auto-expand once, and then if they come back within 24 hours, it'll remain closed. They'd have to automatically, or excuse me, manually click on the button to open it. 24 hours later, it would open again and reset a new cookie. If you do having it auto-expand, do you want it to wait and delay? And again, this is a parameter where if the user comes to the page, do you want it to pop open instantly, or maybe wait 10-15 seconds and then have it automatically open? So once the user's kind of more established in reading content, it's more of an interrupter and can potentially get eyeballs better. Do you want it to auto collapse after it's auto expanded? If so, what's the delay? And moving on to, do you want it to expand on mouse over? If you put yes, that'll obviously expand it when you roll over. If you put no, it'll actually insert a open button. See here, and that'll overlay on top of your image, so it doesn't expand when I roll over it. I have to physically click that button. And then same thing, closing here. Do you want it to auto expand when you mouse over the collapsed state? That means that's what we just did. Teaser animation time, that little bleed that moves up and back, do you want that to happen how many times in a row? Do you want it to tease a little bit for 5 seconds and then stop, or indefinitely click 0? Teaser width, again, depending on your page layout, you might want this to be big. Right now it's set to about close to maximum, but if we made it small, this would make the actual teaser very small, and it would also, you need to note that the area you have to work with design-wise is really tiny, as opposed to showing it bigger. Just click through there. So that's the height and width you can set for that, and how far it actually bleeds in and out is set here, 1 to 100. It's kind of a percentage there. Number of sections in rotation, which we went over. Delay between sections, that means how long do they stay on screen, section 1 before it moves on to section 2. Replay quantity, how often it's going to roll through. Right now it's set to indefinite or continuous rotation. And then finally, do you want to show that header button, yes or no? If I put no and preview, that green header button is now gone, and you just have the one click through now. That's it. As always, if you have questions, you can call us at 866-467-2289.